Do invisible hands, unknown to most of the world, have such great power they can engineer revolutions or manipulate economic crises? Are some of these people hardly even human, reptiles disguised as royals and nobility? Some people think so, telling us that behind many world-changing events there is a secret society playing puppet master. Perhaps the first of these secret societies was the Knights Templar, an organization of not just brave knights, but a powerful coalition of men that founded towns in England and other parts of Europe, held considerable political power, and were heavily involved in banking. Were they the precursors to the Freemasons, the ritualistic secret society founded in London in 1717? Are we still at the mercy of many rich men that go about their business in secret? We'll start with the history of the Illuminati and what is generally believed to be the truth about that group of people that did for sure exist and were part of a secret organization called the Illuminati. If we forget for a moment conspiracy theories regarding the current real or not real Illuminati, the first secret society going by that name was the Bavarian Illuminati. This was a group of men led by Adam Weishaupt, a professor in Bavaria, who believed for the most part that religious and some social ideas were outdated, and that society needed to be illuminated to new ideas. He already had an interest in secret societies such as the Freemasons, but decided to create a society of his own. This was very different from what we think of when we hear the word Illuminati today. To give you an idea, Weishaupt wrote that his secret society was to support freedom from all religious prejudices, cultivates the social virtues, and animates them by a great, a feasible, and speedy prospect of universal happiness. To join his secret society, you needed to be approved by another member, have wealth, and also have strong social connections. Once accepted, you started at level 1, which was novice. You could then climb to the next 2 ranks, which were Minerval and Illuminated Minerval. If you were part of another secret society, you could not join, and women, monks, Jews, and pagans were also persona non grata. By 1784, it's thought there were around 2,000 to 3,000 members, made up mostly of intellectuals, noblemen, politicians, doctors, and even famous writers. The 3 levels were made into a 13-grade structure, starting with novice and ending with king. Each member was given a secret name related to antiquity. Soon, the Bavarian state passed an edict to ban the group, and in 1787, the death penalty could be imposed on any of its members. Soon after, it's thought this Illuminati was disbanded, but as you know, others don't believe that's true. How did that secret society become the Illuminati that is proposed as real by today's conspiracy theorists? Well, it's quite complex, as different ideas are put forward as to what the present Illuminati is, if it exists at all. The general idea is that there is a powerful group made up of mostly men but some women that have considerable wealth and strong social and political influences. This could be people working as bankers, business leaders, politicians, or even celebrities. Rather than expound ideas relating to enlightenment, the current fear that is expressed concerning the Illuminati is that it supports a new world order, population control, sometimes by means of spreading disease, and may even have a secret space program. All those involved utter nothing about their involvement to outsiders. But where do the reptiles come from? Perhaps the most outrageous of the ideas connected to this secret group. This idea was threaded into the mainstream consciousness by British conspiracy theorist David Icke, a man who is still very popular today. Icke was a former sports TV broadcaster and a household name in the UK. In 1991, he appeared on Britain's most popular talk show, Wogan, stating that the end of the world was nigh, and alluding to the possibility that he was the chosen one to deliver an important message to mankind. He has since written over 20 books, made countless DVDs, YouTube shows, and has lectured all over the world to many, many fans that do indeed believe in his revelations. The revelations are not always hard to believe conspiracy theories, but often relate to social or political issues and injustice. However, what about the lizards living in the skins of powerful people, the Illuminati in disguise? These shapeshifters or reptilian humanoids are part of this Illuminati, says Icke. They weren't anything to do with the Illuminati previously mentioned per se, but have been pulling strings here on Earth since ancient times. These reptilian aliens are a hybrid with humans, and Icke says that all royals have this form, as do many powerful business people and politicians. Interviewed in 2017, Icke was asked if he still believed in these human reptiles, and he answered with a resounding yes. He said he had traveled to more than 50 countries to research this and had even been told by CIA insiders that it was a fact. It took the form of meeting people who tell of experiences of seeing people, often in positions of power, changing from human form to a reptilian form and back again in front of their eyes, Ike said during the interview. He believes that ancient texts all over the world discuss this melding of human and reptile to create hybrid bloodlines. These became our rulers, and they bred with other rulers or elites to keep the bloodline going. The whole obsession of interbreeding among royals and big banking and political families is to hold the genetic structure together because it would quickly be diluted if they bred outside it, he said. Now, this is an Illuminati story that cannot easily be exposed if indeed a lizard person can shift from human to reptile, because that would mean its anatomy could look human. It may seem outlandish to some, although Vox magazine said in 2015 that millions of Americans believe in Ike's theory. The article cited a poll which said 4% of Americans believed in the theory, and another 7% said they were unsure, but did hasten to add that often people will answer such a poll insincerely because it's amusing to them. Still, millions of people likely weren't fooling around. According to Ike's fans, you might be able to guess you've come in contact with a lizard person if you notice their strange green eyes, lizard-like teeth, or notice they have great hearing or eyesight, or even have low blood pressure. What do these hybrids want to do? That's simple. Remain in control. Who are they? Well, believers in powerful lizard people put forward many names, not always expressed by Ike. Some of those names include the Pope, Barack Obama, Madonna, George Bush, Hillary and Bill Clinton, and Angelina Jolie. The problem with debunking such an outlandish theory is that it's impossible to absolutely disprove, just as it's impossible to prove. In that way, you could compare it to the existence of fairies or cheese deposits on Pluto. But then we have much more down-to-earth theories regarding secret societies and their existence, and we don't always agree on what they do or what goals they represent. One such group is the Bilderberg Group. The group's members do organize themselves under the Chatham House rule, meaning attendees should not discuss who said what at their yearly meetings. The names of attendees, though, are not kept secret. This group states it only discusses world issues and megatrends, but others think differently. One such person is Alex Jones, who reported on his InfoWars website that attendees to these meetings include bankers, prime ministers, and former heads of the CIA and MI6. His belief has always been that there is something ominous behind this group. He might well be right, but there is no solid proof such a group is involved with ultra-nefarious activities, such as ruthless population control. On its own website, the Bilderberg Group states that its first meeting was way back in 1954, and adds that indeed political leaders and leaders of industry attend. The last meeting discussed many topics, including artificial intelligence, chemical weapons threats, and current economic issues. The next meeting will discuss the Trump administration, among many other topics. Attendees will include mostly politicians and business people, investors, former CIA chiefs, but also editors of news media. Does this mean it's part of a powerful global conspiracy? Well, the fact it's partly secretive is bound to provoke fears and suspicion, and one could suggest that when many powerful people meet, one of the agendas could be how to cling on to that power or to bolster it. But one could also argue that this makes perfect sense. There might be a conspiracy here, but there's no disprovable sign of a wicked Illuminati. Perhaps the idea of a new world order is not so surprising. It's just how you define this order. In 2000, British politician Dennis Healey, who had taken part in these Bilderberg Group meetings, did say that part of the emphasis of the group was to form one strong community, although he also said to say we were striving for a one-world government is exaggerated, but not wholly unfair. Those of us in Bilderberg felt we couldn't go on forever fighting one another for nothing and killing people and rendering millions homeless. Still, until regular journalists are invited into the event and the entire proceedings are made public, conspiracy theorists may fear the worst. As some discerning writers have pointed out, while this group may not be the secret Illuminati, these success stories of post-war capitalism are likely not too keen on changing anything, so may not be very progressive in terms of issues such as human rights abuses or even environmental concerns if it's not good for business. This is still a very long way from lizard people, or even a cover-up of the assassination of an American president. What about those that attend the far more ritualistic Bohemian Grove ceremony? In the past, attendees have included the high and mighty, world leaders, barons of industry, and top media executives. The Manhattan Project was even cooked up at one of those meetings in 1942, which led to the creation of the atomic bomb. Maybe that sounds ominous, but a spokesperson for these meetings once said that it's mostly about people getting together that share a passion for the outdoors, music, and theaters. It does sound like a pagan ritual, however, with attendees wearing costumes and a ceremony involving a coffin effigy being delivered to a 40-foot owl. Sounds wacky, but that depends on your interpretation of it. Alex Jones snuck into one ceremony with popular podcast creator Joe Rogan, but both had very different ideas about what was happening. Rogan believed it to be harmless and kinda weird, like an old boys club party if not rather silly. Jones, on the other hand, believed he was watching something much more sinister. Bill Clinton dismissed these meetings as just a place to get some fresh air. He said he had never attended, but thought they were where all those rich Republicans go and stand naked against redwood trees. In 2009, Vanity Fair reported that like most secret societies, you must be invited by a member, likely wait a long time, and then pay $25,000 as an initiation fee. The magazine also said it helps to be a patrician, Republican, and white. It was thought back then that there were around 2,500 members. Perhaps Bohemian Grove is about elites doing what elites do best, i.e. build and secure their fortunes, or just boys doing what they do best and spraying trees in the woods with their urine. Could these people really be behind the organization that has the Eye of Providence insignia, the all-seeing eye inside the top of the pyramid used by the Freemasons and used for American seals and logos? The latter has led conspiracy theorists to state that this shows how powerful the Freemasons have been in the U.S. politics. Indeed, many U.S. presidents were Freemasons. We should also note that in February this year, the British press published stories on UK politicians and political journalists also belonging to the Freemasons, but they are very discreet about it. There is no strong evidence that an Illuminati exists, but despite that, after Americans were polled in 2013, it was revealed that 28% of the respondents believed such a group existed. Were they talking about human-reptilian hybrids or something far more prosaic in something such as the Trilateral Commission? The latter, founded by David Rockefeller in 1973, now calls itself a think tank consisting of hundreds of people from mostly political, academic, and business backgrounds. Critics of the commission write that it supports one world power, bigger than any government from where the participants come from. While it is criticized from both the left and right of politics for being undemocratic or a consolidation of power, some people said it was responsible for orchestrating the attacks of September 11th. Others have said that the Skull and Bones Secret Society of Yale University is a part of this Illuminati, yet another group of men coming from elite families who have gone on to becoming presidents, powerful business people, or holding important positions in government agencies. Members and former members issued threats to Yale alumna and journalist Alexandra Robbins when she attempted to lift the lid on what happens in this secret society. Even the most rational of us should ask why such secrets are so ferociously guarded. We should also mention that there are organizations that claim to be the Illuminati, such as whoever is behind the website IlluminatiOfficial.org. They claim to be an elite organization of world leaders, business authorities, innovators, artists, and other influential members of this planet. It's very, very unlikely these people have any connection to the original Bavarian Illuminati, but their principles are quite similar. While they don't take donations, some of their critics have said book sales and a YouTube commercial is very much about making money. People on forums disagree about the power this organization says it has, with one commenter stating, "Someone is having fun with the reputation of the Illuminati as an all-powerful secretive organization, which you and I can join by simply sending an email." We think they are probably right. One person that joined this ostensible Illuminati and wrote about the experience said rather than help make world-changing decisions, she just received barrages of email asking her to buy Illuminati stuff. There can be no doubt that mass surveillance or oppressive martial law or lack of transparency regarding what the government does and what it tells us it does, or the engineering of consent through an imperfect media owned by media barons are issues which need to be discussed in depth. But one group controlling all of this? is highly unlikely. As we've seen in this show, there is no doubt that groups of powerful people meet secretly, and it's only reasonable to suggest that their interests are partly in maintaining their wealth and power. But to suggest they are hardly human, or are machinating to forge a world of their liking, and do that without facing public scrutiny, is unlikely. We can only hope for more transparency and rigorous investigations of power when needed, and hope the public can always exercise its right to share its views. The right to do that without fear of arrest, too. We've only touched the tip of the iceberg today regarding the Illuminati and the related conspiracy theories out there, so we hope you'll continue the discussion in the comments. Thanks for watching, and as always, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.